Hello everyone and welcome to a new video about level design. In this episode, we're gonna talk about an issue lots of level designers have to battle against: feature creep. There is this natural instinct, whenever you're given a huge box of chocolates, to just try each one and basically take one bite everywhere without ever finishing any. Similarly, when your level editor just offers you dozens of platform types and cool pickups and amazing enemies with switchable skins, or when your game designers decided that your little hero could run, jump, swim, attack, interact with characters and loot stuff, you can be tempted to cram everything in a level to show players off. While possible in theory, it's often a bad idea in practice. Suppose we create a level like this one. After only a few meters, you have to jump above some holes and spikes, avoid lava cascades, and then defend your life against slimes and skeletons and necromancers. Then you get to this central zone where there's a merchant you can talk to, another person to level up your RPG-like skills, and then you go back to a more dungeony part. You dive in the water, then crouch to avoid the fireballs, and then suddenly you have to stop and solve a little puzzle. Once you're done, you have another puzzle of a different sort just afterwards. And then you loot a reward, and finally you enter a special room where you have to defeat a boss with really complex patterns. The problem, as you've probably noticed, is that this level looks more like a feature showcase than an actual slice of fun for your players. The rhythm is all over the place. It randomly mixes action with RPG and puzzle, as well as super tense moments and long parts of reflection. And it just throws all those new features every 2 steps that force you to acquire yet a new skill and to adapt your gameplay yet again. This is the problem known as feature creep. We naturally tend to overload our designs with too much variety because, as designers, we want to feel like we're making good use of our toolbox. But we should actually do the contrary. A better solution is often to limit yourself to just a few mechanics and be consistent throughout your level. Don't worry, you will get another opportunity to show all of this. Just pace yourself and spread discoveries in your game. Remember that in usual game design, the level is only one small unit in a larger whole, so chances are that you can, and actually you should, also think about the connections in between levels themselves. The idea is not to have the player do everything in each level. Rather, you should use 1 or 2 core mechanics per level and have those polished, well introduced and well dwelled on during this chunk of the game. Also remember that players love feeling in control, so if you expose them to some difficult pattern and have them learn how it works, then repeating this pattern later on will trigger a nice reassuring feeling, because the players know they already beat the difficulty once. Patterns and learning opportunities lead to mastery, which is always a great gaming experience. By the way, another important technique, especially when you're designing a tutorial-like level, is making the initial priming happen in a somewhat sandboxed environment, where failure isn't punished too hard. This way, players can discover, explore and learn peacefully and regard these new mechanics more as a cool tool than an annoying and natural constraint. Of course, this depends on how hardcore you want your level, and by extension your game, to be. It's perfectly valid to target a highly skilled audience and have a very demanding chaining of problems. But this has to be done consciously, not just because you wanted to put everything and ended up with sort of a feature creaturistic Frankenstein hell that keeps asking you more and more without any consistency. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this quick tips and techniques tutorial about level design and that you learned a few things about feature creep and why it should be avoided. If you did, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And of course, don't hesitate to leave a comment with your ideas for future level design tutorials. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and take care.